At some point, valuation becomes unreasonable. And at the end of the day, they haven't had to advertise ever in their history until now. Now they have to because you've got so many more choices. So I'm not buying it here. I missed it. You got to buy these things when everybody hates them. I didn't because I still thought it was overvalued at that point.
Some of these names here today have been absolutely flying, including Tesla. Shares edging higher for a 12th consecutive day, marking the longest winning streak on record.
If you want to be different and all our retail investors watching, then you might consider avoiding Tesla, as it's the most overbought stock on Wall Street right now.
In this video, Tesla stock continues to surge higher, which is really unfortunate because I panic sold near $100. Oh wait, no, I didn't do that. Plenty of other people did though, so a round of applause to the DMFs who sold Tesla stock near $100 per share because they didn't know why they owned it in the first place. Hopefully you've learned a lesson, but that would require having enough intellectual capacity to learn in the first place. And portions of the finance media can't handle it. CNBS appear to be doing their best to convince retail investors to dump the stock. And a heads up, I posted an exclusive Patreon video today in which a stock analyst covering the automotive industry, including Tesla, shares his wonderful experience of heading to a car dealership, getting bent over and well, you're just going to have to check out the video if you want to see how that one ends. Lots of people still are unaware. The content I post on Patreon is only on Patreon. The content I post on Twitter for my subscribers is only on Twitter for my subscribers. So if you'd like more content, check the links in the pinned comment. And by the way, massive thank you to all of my new Twitter subscribers. Much like Tesla stock, the numbers keep going up.
You want to know where momentum is within this market? Yes, it's in the Magnificent Seven and these AI plays, but this one has been virtually unstoppable for the last 10 days plus. Momentum is a powerful thing. 12 days in a row for Tesla. They got the new battery partnerships with GM and Ford. Those were, perceived by some to be game changers, and the stock has reacted in kind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a momentum market, and if you get a little bit of momentum, you see it move all the way. We'll talk about Oracle later on. That's another case of momentum. So the fundamentals don't even have to accompany the price increase. For Tesla, they've had some bunch of good news. The battery partnership, Musk also getting somebody to run Twitter so he doesn't have to divide his time as much. You're seeing more adoption, the market growing bigger with EVs. But look, at some point, valuation becomes unreasonable. And at the end of the day, they haven't had to advertise ever in their history until now. Now they have to because you've got so many more choices. So I'm not buying it here. I missed it. You got to buy these things when everybody hates them. I didn't because I still thought it was overvalued at that point.
Comments we just heard are a microcosm in how not to know anything about anything and how to miss out on incredible opportunities. Apparently this guy, despite Tesla being down about 80% from all-time highs, didn't think it was a good buying opportunity then, still thought the stock was overvalued. And is there any evidence as to why this guy might not really understand Tesla? Yeah, spoiler alert, he's under the false impression that Tesla has now started advertising, and that's because they need to, and the competition is coming. 1, Tesla isn't doing any advertising. They have not started any advertising. So to rain on your parade. 2, Tesla didn't decide of their own volition. We need to start advertising now. Elon Musk, impulsively on a whim, because he believes in listening to feedback and suggestions from investor, when asked if Tesla could advertise, said, sure, we'll try a little advertising. Not, okay, we've decided ahead of time we need to advertise, and thanks for asking that question because we were about to tell you, yes, we've already decided to advertise. Now, it's okay not to know anything about anything or to be very ill-informed, but if you're in the finance media and you're sharing an ill-informed opinion about something to the point where it's truly embarrassing and you admit you thought Tesla was overvalued when it was down about 80% from all-time highs, you've missed out on a massive tear since, which is obvious to others, then you make a statement that's false, that Tesla's now needing to advertise because of competition. I will happily point out, this guy doesn't know what the he's talking about, doesn't understand Tesla, and probably shouldn't be discussing Tesla. There's a reason I discuss very few topics here on this YouTube channel. If I don't know what the I'm talking about, I don't talk about it, or I preface my comments with, I don't know what the I'm talking about, but here's my uninformed opinion.
Yeah, well, I just think everyone that thought this was just a car company continues to be surprised at the massive moat they're creating. I think as it relates to charging, the biggest loser seems to be ChargePoint, right? Because that is the only business model they have. And I just think that Ford and GM saying Tesla's technology, our biggest competitor, is the best technology. I think there's going to be more to come. Tesla's building a lithium refiner in Corpus. They've got their own AI chips. They stopped using NVIDIA in 2018. They could batteries are going to probably could be sold to other companies. And so I just think this story continues to get better. And I think, Elon continues to play 5 games of chess against all sorts of different competitors and comes out on top. And I think the stock price reflects that.
Facts have been spat.
Playing chess and you're still playing shuffleboard, Weiss.
Hey, man,
you and your buddies.
I'm not even
Tiddlywinks. It's playing tiddlywinks.
Yeah, I'm playing too. That's right.
Yeah.
Man, you really know you're f***ed up when anchors and guests on CNBS are roasting you, not just some guy on YouTube.
Some of these names year to date have been absolutely flying, including Tesla. Shares edging higher for a 12th consecutive day, marking the longest winning streak on record. KGI upgrading the stock to outperform, saying this: Tesla's automotive investments in the US are paying off. Its AI prowess is underrated. We're up by another 1.75, up another 1.8% this morning, Katie.
And if that holds, of course, that will be that 12th day of gains, which is a record winning streak for this stock. And there's a few different things that got us here. Fundamental reasons, too. Most notably, in the past few weeks, you've had the likes of Ford and GM saying that they're going to adapt their EVs to hook into Tesla's superchargers. Piper Sandler thinks that's worth a $3 billion boost by 2030 or so. And not to mention, you also have Tesla's Model 3 sedans became eligible for the full U.S. tax credit. So again, a few different fundamental reasons to go along with what's been a blistering rally. If you look at today, again, we're up almost 2%. This rally, if you look over the past winning streak that we're sitting on, it's added about $200 billion to Tesla's market cap. This company is now up over 100% so far in 2023 to go along with that record. So it's been a pretty good summer so far for Elon Musk.
Amazing, and the wins keep coming.
For those of you keeping score at home, Tesla stock year to date up 131%, and in the end, this was inevitable. Now it's fun to point and go, yeah, look, catalysts, but the truth is, one way or another, Tesla stock being down close to 80% from all-time highs, while still in an unassailable lead, dominating in fact, not even dominating, but just plain embarrassing the so-called competition. It was only a matter of time. Of course, I never give investment advice because, one, I'm not that dumb, and two, neither are you. You should think for yourself and act accordingly, bitches. Don't listen to anyone telling you to do anything. Unless, of course, they tell you Tesla stock's going to $69 per share and they're a genius, in which case, can't possibly go wrong. But I did tweet a breadcrumb at the end of last year. Quote, "It's going to be interesting to see the Tesla year-to-date percentage change in 2023, starting from an incredibly low base." Next minute, up 131% year-to-date and counting. Now, who knows what Tesla stock will look like tomorrow, in 2 weeks, in 2 months, and in 2 years. But in terms of probabilities, I think the probability that Tesla stock will be higher in the future than it is today is relatively high. Makes two of us. Wait, what? And that said, Tesla stock's still down almost 40% from its all-time high closing price. And remember, this is the company on the cusp of solving autonomy with an unassailable lead. Incredible pricing power. I mean, maybe you didn't hear, but recently NIO has just slashed prices on their vehicles after posting gross automotive margins of something like 1.5%. Meanwhile, investors were freaking out about Tesla, around 20%. What I'm trying to say here is, if you thought 131% year to date was something, just wait. For what it's worth, still a long way to go for my Tesla base case fair valuation. If you want to see the full thing, head over to Patreon. And just because I think fair value is a certain amount doesn't mean that's what Tesla stock's going to be worth. But I am pointing out there's still a gaping disconnect between what I think Tesla stock's worth and where Tesla stock's currently at.
Tesla can generate as much as $3 billion by 2030 thanks to deals now allowing Ford and GM vehicles to use the company's chargers. That's according to a report from Piper Sandler.
Those motherfuckers have been copying my homework. I mean, obviously they haven't, but shout out to my Patreon supporters who got access to my valuation model. Pull it up now. Have a look at the base case. Check out my numbers for 2030 and 2031. Bam. What are the odds? The odds are we both used our brains and did some numbers and drew a similar conclusion. Again, this is why I'm saying people are freaking out over nothing. Tesla supercharging profit in the future, it doesn't move the needle. Sure, a few $1 billion sounds like a lot. Just to point out the absurdity here, a lot of investors nutting left, right, and center over, let's call it $3 billion in 2030. Obviously, profits, not revenue. In my base case, that's approximately 1% of Tesla's total profits for the year. Weird everyone keeps ignoring FSD and robotaxi, isn't it?
Joining us right now to talk about the impact for the auto industry from these deals. Mark Fields is the former Ford president and CEO, also, of course, a contributor to CNBC, serves on the boards of Hertz and Qualcomm. A side note, Tesla has matched its longest ever streak of positive trading sessions. It is now up 11 days in a row. Good morning to you, Mark. Were you surprised about this outcome?
Well, I think initially a bit surprised, but it's a really pragmatic move by Ford and GM. I mean, listen, the build out of the charging infrastructure is not keeping pace with the number of introductions that these companies are bringing products into the marketplace and ramping up their production. So it was a pretty pragmatic move. And, the bottom line, I think, Andrew, is that what Ford and GM get out of this is not just an increased number of chargers, but the dependability of them, because the current CCS is not so dependable. So it's about the consumer experience.
Look, it's a remarkable thing, and you have to hand it to Elon Musk for building this out early and for even opening up in this way. Having said that, there's the flip side, which is to say, do you believe that Ford and GM have effectively made a deal, and not to say that Elon Musk is a deal with the devil, but a deal with a competitor in which effectively, if Piper Sandler's right, you are subsidizing that competitor, both in terms of economics, you're sending cars there every day, potentially, marketing to Tesla. What does it do long term?
I mean, this is a fair question. It's quite obvious Tesla's so-called competition will be subsidizing them somewhat through the supercharging partnership. However, it's not like the first time this has happened. In fact, if you have a short memory or pretty new to the story, if you sum up all the zero-emission vehicle credits Tesla's so-called competition has purchased from Tesla in order to avoid catastrophic fines for not making enough electric vehicles, which are warned about, anything that Tesla could bring in from supercharging access pales in comparison. Tesla's so-called competition, in essence, have been paying for Tesla gigafactories for years, literally, to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. This in and of itself was a pretty obvious red flag for how difficult it was to ramp EV production. Why would an automotive manufacturer, who were warned years ahead of time, you need to be making this many electric vehicles by this date, otherwise massive fine, not make the electric vehicles and instead have to give billions, literally billions of dollars to Tesla to put them out of business? Something worth thinking about.
Well, I think at the end of the day, when it comes to this, that Tesla has a unique knack of getting revenue out of their competitors. They did it originally when they were selling EV tax credits for the other automakers that weren't meeting their fuel economy requirements. And now they're doing it again, obviously, with this business that they can build. And Andrew, as you know, they've been building this infrastructure out for over 10 years now. And so I think the automakers said, listen, this is a shortcut to getting not only selling people an EV, but it's about the EV charging experience. So not only has Tesla built it out, it has high customer satisfaction. And that's important for the automakers because, yes, they're giving some money to their competitor, but at the same time, they're thinking about how they're going to turbocharge their own sales and also about repeat sales the next time the customer who buys an EV comes back into the marketplace.
Right. In many ways, obviously, looks like there's huge upside for Tesla. Having said that, you go on some of these customer forums online, not a lot of happy customers about this particular news. They say to themselves, you know what, there's already lines in some locations to actually get to an EV charger. Now, they're going to be even greater lines. The idea of the exclusivity of it, being part of sort of the Tesla club. What do you think that means long term in terms of being able to actually hold on to some of those customers who may say, oh, well, now I can just go buy Ford or GM?
Yeah, I think, you're right, Andrew. I mean, at the end of the day, are you diluting the experience as a Tesla customer? So Tesla has to strike the right balance. And listen, they can come up with some pretty, creative things. For example, do they have charging stations at their locations just for Tesla cars versus non-Tesla cars? They can do two-tier pricing. They can do a lot of things on this.
Well,
but
except
I think
that Elon was pretty clear. He says that it's going to be, I listened to that Twitter Spaces with Mary Barra, and he said level playing field. He said, we will not be advantaging Tesla cars or Tesla owners over others. So I think that kind of puts him in a little bit of a tough place to actually create those kinds of special clubs and things, no?
Well, it does to a certain extent, but listen, that was vague enough that I think he has some room to be able to create some special experiences for their Tesla customers. But it is an issue. But listen, at the end of the day, what Tesla has, remember, this is only about 12,000 of their locations or their chargers, and they have over 20, and they're building them out very fast. They build out their charging infrastructure much quicker than the other charge point operators. And so they have the data on where, let's say, the prime locations are. of their customers that are using their charging stations. So I'm sure they're going to use that into their calculus of which charging areas become available to non-Tesla owners.
Fair points from Mark. A lot of people, when they heard the news of Tesla opening some of their supercharging network, didn't hear the sum and just thought, oh, they're opening the entire network to everyone. It's not the case. It's roughly half of their existing superchargers, and they're still building out a ton more at a very fast clip. 12,000 is a lot, but if you want the absolute best experience, obviously, you need a Tesla vehicle so you can access all Tesla superchargers, not just the ones they're allowing you to access if you're a third-party consumer.
Let's move on now as NASDAQ continues to lead the market higher. Which names might be ready to cool off and which ones really haven't joined the rally just yet? Christina Partsenevelis looking at the overbought and the oversold. Christina.
Well, Tyler, if you want to be different and all our retail investors watching, then you might consider avoiding Tesla, as it's the most overbought stock on Wall Street right now. The technical metric, which is often talked about on CNBC as RSI, the Relative Strength Index, measures the speed and magnitude of recent price moves. So if an RSI is above 70, it's considered overbought. If it's below 30, it's oversold. So you want to be between that 30-70 range. More importantly, though, it can indicate a security may be ready for a reversal in price. And that's why we talk about it.
So if you're easily offended by the truth, best not to listen to the next 30 to 60 seconds of this video, because I'm about to share some facts which don't care about your feelings. These kind of indicators are for stupid people to get a false sense of security, to help guide their idiotic investing decisions. All of these complicated methodologies, this, that, and the other, it's a gigantic fucking wankfest. The only thing that moves the stock up or down is the collective buying and selling activity of participants in the stock market on that stock, on that day. That's the only thing that moves the stock. Now, unless your methodology can predict the behavior of all the participants in the stock market on that stock, that includes retail investors, institutional investors, pension funds, big whales with billions of dollars who just so happen to sell out of or buy into a position, unless your methodology can accurately predict the behavior of every human, institutional investor, big whale and so on in the stock market on that security on any given day, it's completely fucking worthless. But it can lull you into a false sense of security. Now, a lot of people, I think, who don't have a pair of testicles like to rely on these because they can point the finger and be mad at something or someone else when it turns out they bought a stock or sold a stock because a number was produced by some methodology and they lost money. This gives people a gold-plated excuse to avoid taking any personal responsibility, have zero accountability for their own actions. If these kind of things were reliable, had any predictive power whatsoever, people would be quintillionaires. People like to feel safe and secure and comfortable. Oh, this thing told me that thing's going to happen. I feel safe now. As opposed to thinking for themselves, acting for themselves, taking responsibility and being accountable for their actions. Don't be a f***ing potato. Use your brain. Analyze the situation, all the moving parts yourself. Determine what you think fair valuation for a stock is and act accordingly. No form of astrology for stocks makes sense. If this kind of garbage actually had any predictive power, consistent predictive power, everyone applying these methods would be quintillionaires. It's not that hard to make $1 quintillion in the span of about a month flat. Leverage up. And the folks selling you these tools are all hucksters. Now, they might actually think their tool makes a lot of sense. Then you might ask the question, why are they selling it if they've made quintillions of dollars by actually just making investment decisions based on the outputs of their amazing tool that has incredible predictive power over human behavior? It is somewhat disheartening to accept the reality that most human beings just want to be told what to do and how to think, and that includes when it comes to investing. Oh, the number said buy, the number said sell, okay, I'm going to do what it told me to. Think for your f***ing selves, please, even if it hurts. In fact, especially if it hurts.
So Tesla's RSI, for example, is well over 90 right now. That stock is up, over 25% in the last 3 weeks or so?
Oh, over 90, Oh, I didn't realize it was that big of a number from their thing that makes a lot of sense. I changed my mind. I take it all back. I'm going to sell all my Tesla stock right now. In fact, I've got to stop recording this video so I can call my broker ASAP. Athletic Greens AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. Athletic Greens AG1 is an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. Certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. And remember, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's nothing to lose here. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.